Hello, and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to another live Manchester United news, transfer news, and update show. Big news and updates coming in on Elliot Anderson. It has been confirmed by multiple sources that we are going for Anderson. He's our number one priority. Romano confirming we're planning a huge move for Anderson in 2026. Anderson open to the move. We know that from reports. United ready to go in for Anderson, with some reports saying it's a matter of when, not if. They do not want to miss out on the guy. I think he's overtaken Baleba on the list because Baleba's had another stinker. He's been hooked up again at half-time. And with Anderson being English, it kind of ticks that homegrown quota. Anderson may, midfield too for the future. I like that. Joel Gomez in there for a bit of depth. I think the midfield rebuild could come along nicely. There's talk of Joel Gomez in January, and there's talk of Anderson in the summer, who's been phenomenal. And I think, as everyone's saying, Elliot Anderson at all costs. We were talking about this in my live stream the other day, but as much as I love Baleba, it's got to be Elliot Anderson at all costs. He's got to be the number one transfer target with the way that he's playing. We have to be doing everything we can to get, I think, Elliot Anderson. Now, we've got team news ahead of the game versus Everton. Leacher and Shea Lacey reportedly in the squad. Rumours of Cunha being out. We will talk about that. Obviously, we've got the Everton game later today. We're going to talk about Anderson. We're going to talk about Baleba. We're going to talk about Semenyo. In fact, I should share my screen because I just realised that my screen is not shared. This is what we're going to be talking about. We've got Shea Lacey in the squad. Anderson, when not if. Romano confirms huge 2026 moves planned. Casemiro, Ugarte, Diego Leon going out, and more. So I hope you guys are all doing well. Anderson waiting. I was expecting Liverpool to dismantle Forest, hoping the misery would be an incentive to cash out before the stock drops. The stock ain't going to drop because he's going to go to the World Cup. He's going to be... the Anderson stock's not going to drop, sadly. 3-1 win, Lacey with goal or assist. Would love that if Lacey came off the bench and produced something mad, but who knows? Maynard's not midfielder, he cannot play in two. I think he can play in two if he's next to someone quite mobile. Anderson would be perfect in our starting 11. Anderson would be perfect. Anderson is literally just what we need, 100% what we need. The only fear about Anderson is dealing with Mr. Marinakis, dealing with Nottingham Forest. He's not an easy club to deal with. It's not an easy situation to deal with, but I think we're all just like, he is the guy. So I want to talk about the team news, and then I want to talk about the transfer news, some things that Ruben Amorim said on Ugarte, which I thought was interesting, Semenyo updates, Diego Leon updates, and more. Shea Lacey has been included in the United squad to face Everton tonight. Now, this has been said by MUFC Academy, who has got stuff correct in the past, so definitely one to watch. We obviously know that Cunha is a doubt, and we know that players like Leacher could be in it or might not be in it. Now, what we know about Shea Lacey is, Nathan Salt actually reported this today, that Shea Lacey was a shy kid. When he first pitched at United, one was obsessed with the boxing and once made it to an age group national final before fully focusing on football. A boyhood United fan who had begrudgingly been brought a season ticket at Anfield by his eldest brother before losing all interest, bit by bit he has come out of his shell to establish himself as one of his country's most technically gifted youngsters, and yet Lacey is still not satisfied. I thought it was a very interesting thing that was said by Nathan Salt. It has been said by MUFC Academy 91 that Shea Lacey has been named in the first team squad against Everton today. The 18-year-old trained with the first team several times. The plan is to integrate him before Amad and Mbeumo leave for AFCON. Jack Fletcher has also been included in the squad. Amorim has publicly expressed confidence in both Jack Fletcher and Shea Lacey. There is a worry that with both those players named in the squad, it's because Cunha has potentially stepped out through injury. There's no confirmation yet if Cunha will be out for the match, but we're expected to know in the next few hours if Cunha could miss tonight's match. Maguire isn't expected to be involved. Sesko is obviously not expected to be involved. There's doubts to Maino and there's doubts to Lisandro Martinez as well. But a lot has been said about Shea Lacey, who is set to be on the bench tonight. He's not set to start, but he's set to be on the bench tonight, and he could maybe get a bit of a cameo. What I'm hoping is, like last time we play Everton, we go 4-0 up, and Amorim's like, you know what? We can give the youth a cameo. And Nathan Salt interestingly said that Fletcher Lacey, Jim Thwaite, Spentita Mantato, Bian Shiri, and Devaney have had multiple sessions with the first team, and the feeling now at Carrington is that those who are ready to break through are now much more ready than those who were in the thrust before. Because Amron has integrated a lot of the young players in training sessions, he's more comfortable with giving them the opportunity to potentially break through. What? Is my tap just going off? No, it's okay. It's the Hoover next door. I was like, what the hell is that noise? Sorry about that. So that was quite interesting in terms of the youngsters, but we haven't got updates on Cunha yet. Lacey's issues been injuries. If could stay fit for an extended period of time, will show his quality 100%. Cunha's not injured. He's in photos for full training. He simply missed some Xmas light switch on. The club didn't want him to do. Maybe they faked it. So he could miss this Xmas light switch on. I mean, as far as I'm aware, Cunha is fit to be in the squad. It's just because Shea Lacey and Jack Fletcher have been called up. There's obviously that part of me that's like, oh, well, is that because Cunha's potentially out of the squad? But the feeling is that Cunha will be in the squad. He was spotted training yesterday. You make a good point. I think Maynard might be out of the squad. I think Sesko's going to be out. Maguire's going to be out. Leacher could be back in the squad. That will be interesting to see if Leacher can get back into the squad. But it was said that Cunha just had a knock to the head in training and he's fine now. It looks like Cunha's back in training. Must have been a headache. Yeah, it looks like Cunha is back for the game, which is good. I don't know if he'll start, but I think it will be Cunha starting because we've got no Sesko. It'll be interesting to see if Xerxes gets a start. I think it'll be really interesting to see if Xerxes gets a start tonight. What's your demand for the next 5 games? I'd say 9 points is the minimum. Well, should we look at the next 5 games? Manchester United. So, let me get our next 5 games up. Bear with me. 9 points is the minimum. Let's have a look. If we win today, I think we can go 5th. If we win 4-0, I think we can go 4th. But I'm not quite confident we're going to win 4-0. We did last time, though. So, are we at home? Yeah, we are. I actually back us a lot more at home. So I think we can win today because we're at home and Everton don't have the best away record. 3 points versus Everton. I think Palace, 12 o'clock kickoff away is a loss. I'm not going to lie, I think we lose to Palace. I think we beat Everton. I think we lose to Palace. I know West Ham are better, but at home we should beat West Ham and we should beat Wolves. Yeah, I think 9 points is the minimum. You've got to beat Everton, West Ham, Wolves. Maybe you draw to Bournemouth, maybe you lose to Palace. I think 9 points in the next 5 is the minimum. The problem is, we go into this game here, Villa, without Ahmad and Mbumo, and Villa are a good side. Although, they don't beat us very often. Newcastle always give us issues, no Ahmad and Mbumo. Wolves, they should be down and out by then. Leeds, they're going to be up for it. It's at Ellen Road. These 4 games worry me because there's no Ahmad and Mbumo. By the time we play Burnley, if Cameroon and Ivory Coast aren't doing well in AFCON, then we've got them back. By the time we play City, we should definitely have them back, unless they make the final AFCON and we give them a break. But it is a bit concerning because we need to do well in these games because we've got City and Arsenal, which are 2 difficult games, right after the AFCON games. And the AFCON games worry me because I think we could lose points in those AFCON games without Ahmad and Mbumo. And then you go to City and Arsenal, and it's like the season, if we beat Everton, looks quite promising. We're in 5th. We, look like we could get Europa League push for Champions League. But if we don't capitalise on these games and we go and lose 2 games in a row here, then it is concerning for sure. Like, that would be maybe the fear. I mean, I think, look, we've shown that we could go toe-to-toe with Arsenal under Amrin, don't get me wrong. But, yeah. I'll be calling for Amrin's head if we don't achieve 9 points, to be honest. Cunha may not start as a result, but surely involved in some capacity. I agree. Same, Sesko's injured right now. Would have been nice to have a run of fixtures for him to settle in. I agree, without all these international breaks. I also think it's quite hard for new signings because not only are they not given a run of fixtures to settle in, but they might get a game, then it's an international break, then they don't play for 2 weeks, then they get, it probably makes it harder for new signings. Top 4 signings in the summer. Elliot Anderson has to be absolute number 1. Without a doubt. A second midfield signing has to be number 2. Semenyo would probably be my number 3. And my number 4, I think just a centre-back. Whether it's someone young like Jacket, whether you get a Gay, whether you get a Van Heck. I think, yeah. Although that said, I think if we're being less realistic, I'd go Nuno Mendes. I'd go Elliot Anderson. I think just do everything you can to get Elliot Anderson. I'd then go someone like, no, he can't stay fit, actually. I would have said Camavinga if he could stay fit. Maybe Manu Kone. And then some attacking firepower. Kane, Elliot Anderson, Manu Kone, and Nuno Mendes, if we're being unrealistic. Yeah. Newcastle are tough. No Ahmad and Abuma for Newcastle. I do worry about that game. 12 points is minimum, not 9. 10 points is my minimum. I can't see us beating Palace. Palace away at 12 o'clock next Sunday. I think that's a loss. If we beat Palace away next Sunday at 12, I think that'll be one of our best results in a long time, because we just seem to not do well against Palace. We can beat Arsenal for sure. Number one target, Anderson. Number one target, not Anderson. Too obvious. Number one target has to be Anderson. It just has to be. We've been looking at Mukio as a young centre back. I'm not against him or Jacket coming in as that fifth sort of signing, young defender to improve the depth. Yeah, Cameroon's keeper is Anana. He'll be back in a week. Yeah, and Boomer might be back in a week with Cameroon. Anyway, let's talk about the transfer news, and let's talk about what's been said in Elliot Anderson, because I am like 10 minutes into the video and we've not discussed it. But I did want to quickly, bear with me, get the table up, because we are 10th in the table. We're above Liverpool. Look at Liverpool's goal difference. Twats. But we're nice and above Liverpool. And we should stay above Liverpool unless we lose 4-0. But if we win, we go to 21 points, which puts us into 5th. If we win 4-0, which is what the result was last time we played Everton at home, we'd go into 4th. 1 point behind City. If we win, we are 1 point behind City. How nuts is that? For me, a win is huge. If we win, we're back, guys. We're back. Well, no, we'll probably lose the next couple of games. But yeah, if we win, guys, that is bad. That's big. That's big. Off topic, but am I the only one who's quite happy we didn't spend 60 million on Branthwaite? I think I don't think he's even played a minute this season. He keeps getting injured. I tell you what, missing out on Branthwaite and getting Euro and Delict. Hello. Yeah, I'm glad we did. Do you know what? The Man United before Ineos come in. I know we're off topic here. Man United before Ineos, Murta and Arnold would have gone and spent 75 million on Branthwaite. Murta and Arnold would have gone caved and spent 75 million on Branthwaite. Ineos are like, we're not giving you more than 60 million. That's a joke. We'll get Euro and Delict instead. And getting Euro and Delict instead of Branthwaite, probably the best thing we've done. But that's what I like. I think about our transfer strategy under Ineos is we're actually a bit smarter. We're not going to spend 75 million on Branthwaite. We went and got Euro and Delict. You know? Instead, we walked away. You cannot hold us hostage. We walked away, and I like that. Cunha had a release clause. I think we overspent on Sesko, but we couldn't get Gyökeres. We couldn't get Delap. Delap's been dreadful for Chelsea, but he has been injured and that. But Delap's been dreadful for Chelsea so far. But I do like that. Anyway, let's get into the Elliot Anderson news. Ooh. Here we are. Boom. Amorim and Jason Wilcox share the belief that Elliot Anderson could effectively replace Casemiro and marshal the United midfield for a decade. I also share that belief with Amorim and Jason Wilcox. I think we missed out on Declan Rice 3 years ago. We cannot miss out on Elliot Anderson. The question is not if Manchester United will approach, it's when they feel a deal could be signed, sealed and delivered. So it's not, will United approach Elliot Anderson? We will approach Elliot Anderson. We will go for Elliot Anderson. It's a case of, when can we do it? Can we do it in January? Probably not. So we're going to go and do it in the summer. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. We are going for Elliot Anderson. We are going to get Elliot Anderson if all goes to plan. But we probably can't do that in January. It's probably going to happen in the summer. That's basically what's been said there. But Man United are going for Elliot Anderson. I'm telling you this now. I don't know if we'll get him. He might decide he wants to go to City or Tottenham or Newcastle. You never know. But it is happening. We are going for Elliot Anderson. That is 100% happening. We are going for him. We are 100% going for him. We're going all in for Elliot Anderson. That is happening. We also know from Romano, and Romano confirmed it's happening, Man United are prepared to go big on midfielders in 2026. The names of Baleba and Anderson are being maintained. It may be one or two, but it depends on opportunity, sales, and Casemiro's situation. Romano saying United are prepared to go big, and Anderson is one of the names. Man United will approach Elliot Anderson. They will make a move. Just when? You know? Man United will make Nottingham Forest midfielder Elliot Anderson a priority signing in the January window, although it's believed we won't get him in January. Manchester United are ready to offer 60 million for Elliot Anderson in January. Amron is reportedly obsessed with him, and United will do everything possible to bring him to Old Trafford sooner rather than later. Anderson is open to joining, was reported in the past. And United do want to continue with Casemiro, but only if he agrees to lower his wages. The same applies with Maguire. So United potentially, if Casemiro doesn't stay, we might get both Anderson and Baleba. But United are doing everything they can to go for Elliot Anderson. They're going all out for him. And I like that. We're going all out for him. Ben Jacobs was saying, look, there's talk of them wanting 100 million, but there's some kind of clause in Elliot Anderson's contract where he's going to be quite a bit less than 100 million, you know, which is quite good. We could maybe get Man United, believe, for some reason, and I don't know why. Hello? What's that? One sec. Someone's knocked at my door. I don't know. Someone's probably just hearing that I'm live and is messing with me. Someone just knocked on my door there and walked off. Don't know. Someone is messing with me there. I don't even know what I'm saying now. I forgot what I was saying. What was I waffling about, guys? Something about Elliot Anderson. We're going for Elliot Anderson in 2026. The player is open to the move. We want him. He's the number one priority. We have to get him. We're going all out for him. Like, it's happening. We're going for him. You know? It's Ineos at the door. Stop telling everyone we're going for Anderson. Stop telling them. It's a secret. But we've just leaked it to the media. It's Ineos at the door. That's what it is. Maybe. Bruno will be gone sooner rather than later as well. We need to be on top of the queue for Anderson, 100%. It's Baleba again. Other clubs can't afford him this year. We need to close in and get some all big teams. I'd even sign him at 60 million and loan him back. I wouldn't sign Baleba just to loan him back. But all I'm saying is Baleba's stocks must have gone. So the way I look at it is we go all out for Elliot Anderson. He's the number one. We do what we can for Elliot Anderson. Once we get Elliot Anderson, we go to Brighton and we go, well, we're not that desperate for Baleba anymore because we've got Anderson. And Baleba's been quite bad for you. And although Brighton will go, he's not for sale, we know that they want to cash in because he's been bad. And we'll say, well, we might give you 50 million for him, but we might look elsewhere. He's not been great. We've got Anderson. That's what we've got to do. Because if we go to Brighton and we go all in for Baleba in the summer, Brighton, who I will tell you this now, I know this, Brighton want to cash in on Baleba in the summer. Brighton are not happy with Baleba. They're not happy with the way that he's playing and they want to cash in on Baleba in the summer. Okay, I'm telling you that for a fact. But Brighton are going to put out and keep telling United he's not for sale. He's absolutely not for sale. Because if they say they want to sell him, they can get less. They'll get less for him. So they say he's not for sale, because Brighton want to make sure they can rinse Man United as much money as possible for Baleba. Like they want Caicedo type money for Baleba, which they're not going to get with the way he's playing this season. So what Brighton will do is they will pretend that Baleba's not for sale, hope that Man United is still desperate next summer, and try and get 90, 100 million out of us for a player that's been crap. What Man United need to do is they need to go all out and get Elliot Anderson, who there is rumours and reports that he could be 70 million because of some kind of clause in his contract. We don't know how true that is. We go out and we go all out for Elliot Anderson. We go, boom, we've got Anderson. So then when we go in for Baleba as a second midfield signing, well, we'll say we've already got Elliot Anderson. We're just looking for a 50 million second midfield signing. João Gomez is there. This player's there. That player's there. We do like Baleba. Obviously, we know Baleba wants to move. And all of a sudden, I think if you sign Elliot Anderson and you make it out to Brighton, you're not that fussed about Baleba, who Baleba's desperate to leave. Brighton secretly want to sell him. I think you get that Baleba price tag down to 60 million. I think you could get that Baleba. And maybe people are calling me deluded. But yeah. I do agree with this point by Alex. Still don't love Amron sort of mid-2 in the PL, but a player like Anderson could work in any system. He's like Rice. Anderson, Declan Rice, Tonali, Moises Caicedo. They're the type of players that could work in Amron's midfield too. Very few players will succeed in Amron's midfield too. It's a very tough job for a midfielder. But for me, Elliot Anderson's that kind. Oh, I'd like Adam Morton. I think Adam Morton doesn't suit the system as well as an Anderson. But I'd love Adam Morton. I just feel like Adam Morton is going to go Madrid or City. I just feel like Anderson and Balaber's quite realistic. I think Adam Morton is City, Madrid. I think he's going to go somewhere that's a bit more technical on the ball, whereas Amron likes a lot of physicality off the ball as midfielders. But look, I'm all for Adam Morton as well. I love Adam Morton. Elliot Anderson, Carlos Balaber, Mark Gay. I mean, look, they would be 3 good signings. 2 midfielders in the Prem will never work unless you have Caicedo and Declan Rice doing it. It's very difficult, yeah. And Mbeumo scored a hat-trick today. McTominay should be brought back. McTominay doesn't fit in the system because McTominay, when we played McTominay deeper, he was shite for us. Let's be honest, McTominay, when he was played deeper, was shite for us. He was shite for us under Ollie. McTominay, in his final season, when we finally played him further up the pitch because we brought in Casemiro and some midfielders, was good. McTominay is good because he plays further up the pitch. McTominay was good in his last season for us because he plays further up the pitch. Because we've got Mbeumo, Cunha, Mount, Ahmad, if we brought McTominay back, he's going to play in the midfield too, and he's going to be shite. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, that's the fact about McTominay. He's fantastic this season. He's done fantastic this last year and a bit. But that's because he's being profiled correctly, because he's playing further up. We played McTominay. The one game Ollie played McTominay further up in was against Leeds, and he scored about 2 goals in 2 minutes. It was 10-0 that put McTominay further up because we had better midfielders lower down. And in 10-0 last season, McTominay was clutch. But if we brought McTominay back, he's realistically going to go in that pivot because he's not playing over Mbeumo and Cunha realistically, because Ruben Amorim wants ball carrier 10s. He doesn't want 10s like McTominay. So as good as McTominay is, it wouldn't make sense to bring him back. It would make most sense if we were going to bring anyone back to bring back Rashford, but that's not going to happen because he's fallen out of Amorim. But I like McTominay. I like that he's doing well, but he was poor when he played deeper. Like, he was crap for a few seasons with McTominay when he played deeper. And when we finally put him in his best role, he was class. And I think that's an example of, Bruno, I don't think he's playing his best because he's playing deeper. I think Bruno further up is better. I think you've got to put your best players in the best roles. Scott wouldn't replicate that production in PL regardless. I think if you build a system around Scott McTominay, he could be nuts. And he has this box crashing number 10 role. That could be seen it, but yeah, like, you'd have to build a system around McTominay, and you don't want to do that. Morgan Rogers should replace Bruno, just dreaming. I mean, I do think if you're looking at Bruno and Casemiro replacements, you probably bring in João Gomez and Anderson to replace Casemiro, Ugarte. And even though Bruno's played deeper, you either go with like Wharton as a Bruno replacement to be an 8 next to Anderson, or you go Morgan Rogers because Bruno is a 10 that is just playing 8, to be honest. So I get your point. I think Morgan Rogers is a good player. This slow starts the season, but he's a good player. I want to dive into some other updates and stories on Ugarte, because Amron was asked about Ugarte, and his form's been quite hit and miss. This is what Amron had to say on Ugarte. He said, is he surprised by Ugarte's level? You've been here longer than I have, and you can see how many good players come here and sometimes have difficulties. He's struggling right now, but it's our job to help players. Once again, everything can change. You've seen it. 5 weeks ago, the environment was completely different. I know that Ugarte is struggling right now, and it's my job to help him feel like he did when he was a Sporting player. But it's a different role, and he has to adapt. He has to improve, especially in training. So Ruben Amorim's saying, look, Ugarte's struggling. It's not easy coming to United. I know the level he can hit, but he's got to improve. He's got to do it in training. And what's not to say he can't improve? I read that as, I like Ugarte, but yeah, he ain't as good as he's been at Sporting for me. I think Ugarte will be sold. I'm pretty confident Ugarte is going to be sold in the summer. I think we could bring in 3 midfielders. I think Ugarte and Casemiro and Bruno could all go. And Maino's been out on loan and not the happiest. I do look at it and think, I think we could probably get both Balaber and Anderson, to be honest. I think we could probably get both Balaber and Anderson, if I was going to be honest. But like, Ugarte is not particularly rated, is he? He's not particularly rated. Anyway, let's continue on. So there is updates saying that Diego Leon has chances of going out on loan in the next transfer window. The fullback doesn't look favourable of getting minutes currently and wants to rack up minutes at another club. Apparently, Diego Leon wants to get some first team minutes. I just think with Diego Leon, slow down. You've come to a new continent, new country, a new language. Like maybe he was expecting to get a few first team minutes now, especially when you look at how poor the low's been. I get it. But I think this is just a year for Diego Leon to settle in. Like I don't think it's a year where he needs to go out to the Championship on loan. I think it's a year for him to settle in and get used to England and build his fitness with the under-21s. I don't want to rush him on a loan deal. Sekou Kone waited a year and is now potentially going out on loan. Sekou Kone didn't play for us last season. He didn't make his debut, and I think Diego Leon maybe frustrated he hasn't made his debut. I don't know, wants some first team minutes, but I don't think he needs to rush into anything. I don't think he needs to rush into anything one bit in terms of that. It was also said by Romano that Semenyo was on United's transfer targets on the list of attacking players, and he's very highly appreciated by Amorim. But at the moment, United are quite happy with the attacking options they have. So we haven't got any plans, apparently, to move for Semenyo. Apparently, we're all focused on midfield because we're quite happy with our attacking options. I think we'll probably look at other attacking options in the summer. What I'm quite interested to see is if Xerxes will get some minutes and opportunity now that Sesko's out. That's what I'm quite interested to see later today. But yeah, guys, that is your Manchester United Live news roundup. Thank you for tuning into today's news show. I will be back tonight with a reaction to United Everton. Hopefully we'll be 4th or 5th in the league. See you then. Bye.